Hello everybody. I want to talk a little bit about the Rein-Back today and demystify some of the questions that I keep hearing from people who have been trying and saying, oh, this is so hard, my horse just won't do it, or, they had to resort to pretty severe or drastic methods to make the horse understand that they want him to go back. And it's kind of understandable. I think a good rule of thumb is to start to introduce your horse to backing up on the ground, so that they understand this is a concept that, will be part of our working life, so to speak, when we're around our humans. But you also have to understand that in the horse world, among horses, backing up is a submissive gesture. So sometimes you might get a little bit of a resistance from a horse, not only because they don't understand what you want, but also from a little bit of a dominance point of view, or from just saying, really, do I need to do this? Not any hard feelings, but, just a little bit of an attitude perhaps. But that is probably on a list of reasons why a horse might not want to back up on the very bottom of it. So I want to say, let's have a look at how we can make a horse understand what we want by biomechanical means. And to start with, I'm just going to show you, I'm going to come to a halt here in a moment, and I'm going to show you how a horse can misinterpret what you want. There are a lot of different things that are commonplace that people don't, address sufficiently, in my opinion. But a lot of times you see backing up as somebody putting their hands back and pulling the horse down as he's now behind the vertical and stretching their legs forward and leaning back. So this is probably the worst kind of situation that you can put a horse in, and I'm going to release him out of this. Just because by leaning back, you're putting more weight on his hind end, and he's not understanding why and how he could even move that way, right? So pushing your legs forward too is another really not, it's like a non-communication. You take your legs off. There's nothing going on for the horse. Doesn't understand that you mean for him or her to move. And in terms of your weight, it is a much, much more understandable for the horse, from his or her point of view, understandable cue when you lean slightly forward. And the forward leaning in the beginning can be like, you can actually take your whole upper body and lean forward and put more weight on your horse's shoulders. That would actually feel to the horse in some ways as if there's like something is happening, something is changing. And it because of the extra weight, and then you're going to put your lower legs back into the more, into the slowing down or going backwards button area. And with your hands, you want to make sure that they come up a little bit, and you can experiment with that. And then you're going to start sitting here. I'm just going to exaggerate and flutter with your lower legs a little bit and wait until the horse shifts slowly his or her weight backwards. And I'm totally exaggerating this right now, right? And at this stage, at the very early stage, I don't care if the head comes up. It's totally fine as long as I get a few steps backwards, right? So I'm going to make him go forward again for a moment here. We're just going to go and walk a few steps, and I'm going to show the whole thing to you in a little bit of a, more cohesive manner. So we're going to halt. Have him in a nice place here. I'm going to shift, and at this point, I'm just going to shift my pelvis forward. Don't have to use my whole body weight anymore with this horse. I'm going to put my lower legs back, anchor my knees, flutter a little bit, and start to give a little bit of a rein squeezing. And after each step, I'm going to let go of the reins again, right? And so he's right now giving this to me, not in a super, nice and refined way yet, but it's a beginning, right? So we're going to try this again in a moment here, and I'm going to show you how, hopefully, we will slowly but steadily making this into a little bit more of a process that looks a little bit less, there you go, a little bit less, obvious in terms of the seat, and the head's still coming up a little bit, so that's totally fine. And legs forward when you want to go forward again. Breathe out in the down transition when you want to come to a halt. Breathe in your up transitions. And, I'm going to just let him walk here for a few more steps so it's not too much of backing up on the same spot. It makes the horse not necessarily happy because they're after a while asking, why are we doing this here? So again, little less, little bit less. And I might also squeeze a little bit left, right on the rein aids in sync with the shoulders that I want to move backwards, right? So if I look down and I want to not lean forward so much to ask the horse to move backwards with my upper body, I'm going to have to kind of make up a little bit in other areas to make him understand that this is what we want to do. So I'm going to try this again here. I'm going to turn. I'm going to come to a halt. Breathe out, knees on. Pelvis forward, lower legs back a little bit. And then I'm going to start to take the hands up, left, right, there, there, there. And it's important that after each step I give again. And then forward the legs again, and here we go into our medium walk again, right? So it's work in progress, as always. Give it a try with your horses, see what may want to unfold. If it doesn't work really super well the first day, just do a little bit. And you can also position your horse with his head in front of a fence. I'm going to just do it one more time here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have a number of steps in my mind that I want him to go in, and he did that very nicely. And so now I feel like, okay, now I can have him go into a longer frame, release a little bit the pressure of, this exercise pattern, and he understands that he did a really good job. Gradually, listening to finer aids on my part, and that's really the process always. You start out by spelling it out a little bit and making sure the horse understands that when you lean forward, it's almost like imagine a kitchen table, that you put some weight on the front part of the maybe rectangular top, and the legs will tilt almost like forward a little bit, and that will make the horse want to go backwards. I don't know if that makes sense, if that's a good metaphor, but it sort of works that way in my mind. All right, so much for today. Thank you for watching, and happy riding. Thank you, Cooley. So.